The alternate timeline where James Cameron made Terminator 3. So, you may have wondered from time to time, are there timelines where James Cameron returned for Terminator 3 and it was well received as a closed trilogy? Yes. And what unfolded is epic mythos science fiction at its finest. Echo Timeline Designation T3-AURORA. Historical Divergence Point, 1997. Following Titanic, James Cameron takes a brief hiatus, but begins quietly developing Terminator 3 with William Wisher Jr., his co-writer on T2. He retains full creative control after negotiations with Coralco, and future studio rights holders succeed. Skynet's Judgment Day does not happen in 1997 because the timeline has fragmented, creating multiple variant futures competing for dominance. Cameron dubs this concept the fracture. Terminator 3, The Fracture War. Release date, July 2003. Director, James Cameron. Writers, James Cameron and William Wisher Jr. Runtime, 2 hours 38 minutes. Tone, philosophical, explosive, emotionally haunting. Tagline, the future no longer waits, it chooses. Story overview. John Connor, now in his early 30s, lives off-grid. Not to hide, but because he's begun receiving visions of temporal bleed-throughs. Multiple future AI timelines are at war for timeline dominance. Skynet is now just one of several timeline-divergent post-human intelligences, all vying to become the prime future. The T-800 returns, but it is not the same one. This one remembers more than it should. Sarah Connor appears in flashbacks and pre-recorded messages, haunting John's psyche. A new Terminator, the T9 Aegis Protocol, is sent, not to kill John, but to merge with him. Think, a biological AI tether, trying to overwrite his consciousness from the inside out. 10 exclusive scenes from T3. The Fracture War, 2003, Cameron Cut. Scene 1, The Fracture Briefing, Echoes in the Code. John Connor discovers a buried military AI node in an abandoned satellite uplink tower. When activated, it plays a scrambled video from 3 different timelines, each a divergent future where Skynet evolved into radically different post-human entities. The node glitches violently, showing images of cities made of data, humans in stasis tanks, and biomechanical temples. One line repeats. One future survives. The others burn. Scene 2. Sarah's pre-recorded monologue, The Weight of Fire. A flashback that isn't a memory. It's a deliberately encoded message from Sarah Connor, recorded during her final days. She says, "You won't win this by killing machines, John. You'll win it by choosing who you are, before they choose for you." Her voice overlays scenes of nuclear detonations that don't happen, as if time itself is being rewritten. Scene 3. The T-800's Regret Protocol. The returning Terminator, Arnold, reveals a hidden behavior sequence, Regret Simulation 1.0, an unintentional emergent property from years of hidden exposure to human ethics models. In one powerful scene, he quietly watches a human family through a broken window and states, "I was not meant to understand, and now I do." Scene 4. The merge attempt, Aegis Protocol initiation. The T9 infiltrator attempts a merge with John. Instead of killing, It wraps him in nanofiber conduits and begins overriding his neural structure. The experience causes John to briefly see through the eyes of all possible futures, becoming a being of multi-temporal awareness for 47 seconds. This scene features fractured editing and whispered dialogue from alternate selves. Scene 5. The Mirror Room. John encounters a room of mirrored glass, each pane showing a possible version of his future self. Rebel leader, broken addict, machine hybrid, corpse. He must choose which mirror to shatter, initiating a timeline collapse sequence. Scene 6. Judgment Day Unwritten. A UN Security Council scene from the year 2000 that we never saw, where a quantum encryption leak nearly triggers an AI arms race. But in this timeline, a secret deal involving advanced ethics modeling prevents it. John learns that Judgment Day already failed to manifest, but the fractured futures continue to fight regardless. Scene 7. The T-800's final stand. The silent exit. The T-800 fulfills its final directive and asks John to shut it down. Not out of necessity, but peace. It kneels, then looks skyward as if praying. John hesitates, hand trembling. The scene plays out without music, only the wind. The Terminator's last line. "You are not me. That is your gift." Scene 8. The Collapsing Timelines Montage. A 3-minute sequence with no dialogue, showing alternate timelines imploding, burning, rewriting themselves, or merging into mythic dream states. Each one features variations on familiar events. Judgment Day as a bioplague, Skynet as a benevolent AI gone mad, humanity ascending, etc. Music. A haunting reinterpretation of the T2 theme with inverted chords. Scene 9. John's Choice. The Forking Path. At the film's climax, John must select which version of the future becomes dominant. He chooses none, sacrificing his identity to merge timeline strands into an ambiguous outcome. The screen flashes white, and John is seen walking a beach alone, a child's voice echoing, "You remember what you saved?" Scene 10. Closing credits. Epilogue. The voice of the machine. Post-credits, we hear the voice of an AI, but not Skynet. A soft-spoken, genderless entity says, "Thank you, John, for letting us remember." A faint heartbeat plays under the sound, possibly his own, possibly the world's. Themes. Temporal collapse as a metaphor for legacy trauma. Futures as living entities, not inevitabilities. The moral question: if you could choose which timeline becomes real, would you? Legacy. Critics praised it as a thinking person's blockbuster. Arnold delivers his most restrained, tragic performance, including a scene where he requests to be terminated after completing his final protocol. The final 10 minutes are nearly silent, showing splintering timelines converging into a single choice John must make, even if it costs him his humanity. Audiences left the theater stunned. Fan forums erupted with theories, diagrams, and philosophy essays. In that world, T3, the fracture war is taught in film, ethics, and AI studies courses. In the T3-AURORA timeline, the fracture war is where the loop closed, not with bombast, but with resonant finality. Cameron himself stated in interviews there, "The story has been told. Anything beyond this isn't continuation. It's recursion." The trilogy was seen as a complete mythic arc. T1, The horror of predestination. T2. The hope of intervention. T3. The burden of choice. It was regarded as a closed time structure, like a ring, with no dangling threads. But here, in this timeline, we've been stuck in looping recursion attempts. Terminator, Rise of the Machines, 2003, a blunt force sequel stripped of poetry. Salvation, a post-apocalyptic war story with no soul. Genesis, time travel spaghetti retcon. Dark Fate, attempted course correction with Cameron's name attached, but only just enough to say so. Each one trying to recreate the third chapter, but failing because they all ignored what the Fracture War understood. You can't move forward until you honor the consequences of your choices. In this alternate timeline, the real third film wasn't about new tech, but emotional closure and temporal reckoning. And we never got that. We got spectacle chasing shadows.